Hi, Erin. It's good to see you today.
Hey Emily, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself and why you're excited to do this cohort?
I am a coach who works focused on neurodivergent, particularly gifted adults. And a lot of my clients are trying to figure out what to do next in their life. So I'm very excited about this career cohort we're working on. My background prior to coaching has been getting a PhD, navigating academia, working for small businesses, staying at home with kids, and starting my own business. I've done a little bit of everything except corporate. How about you?
So I worked with gifted folks for about 15 years in all sorts of roles. My master's degree is in gifted ed. I worked in K-12 for a period of time, led workforce development programs, worked in neuroscience for over a decade. I've had a lot of different experiences in this space, but career coaching is really my passion. I really love working with gifted and neurodivergent folks, and I am so excited to be doing this cohort with you. We know there's a real magic that comes from kind of getting gifted folks and neurodivergent folks together in the same room. So I'm so excited to be able to do this around the workbook.
I'm looking forward to shifting into a group coaching framework where people are getting feedback both from us and working through some of their ideas, but also getting reflections and feedback from other gifted adults in maybe not the same situation, but often there's overlapping experiences that are really reassuring to hear as a gifted adult.
I think that's what is going to make this cohort really magical, actually, is thinking about all these times where the problem that you thought was just yours at work forever, finally, when you get into a group of other gifted people, you see this is actually a more universal problem. It's not a you problem, it's a structural problem. And so we'll be talking a
Yeah.
lot about these things, I think, week by week about how do we navigate systems that really weren't built for us or didn't have us in mind. What are these shared experiences? How have we overcome them? And how do we grow from them?
And I think both of us have had experience with a lot of grown up gifted kids who then found out that they have other stuff about their brain going on. They have ADHD, they have autism, they have dyslexia that was undiagnosed, and they've made it this far based on that gifted brain, like just chugging along. And all of a sudden they're like, wait, what? Gaining that understanding of what you as an individual really need, as opposed to what you've been told you should be able to do, I think is just really powerful.
I think it should be said that anybody who identifies with any of this is welcome in our group. You don't have to have a formal gifted identification. You don't have to have any sort of formal diagnosis. It's really if this framework resonates with you, if you're somebody who's really ready to do sort of deep internal values work, this is probably not a great group for somebody who just wants to update their resume or learn to network or
No.
learn interview skills. We know most of the folks who will be in this group have done those things before, maybe done them really successfully, but have reached a point of burnout or they want something different in their lives. They want something more flexible. They want to really redesign how work looks for them. And that's really what we're intending with this cohort is to provide that opportunity rather than sort of direct skills instruction.
It's one of the premises that I bring to all of my coaching is that, if you've made it to 40 with ADHD, I do not need to tell you how to use a calendar. You get that. You know what calendars are. What you need is to figure out a system that works for the brain that you have, that you will actually use the calendar or you will do the thing that you want to do. And I'm so excited to use your workbook for this. Like those exercises are really some deep coaching questions, deep exercises to get at what are your perceptions, what are your perspectives that drive the decisions you're making or the decisions you have made, and how do they align with what you really want? And how do they align with how your brain really works? What do you actually need to be successful at building the life, not just the job, but the whole life that you want to have?
That is the crux of this cohort is this is life design. It's not just career design, right? Career is like the
Yeah.
focal point for it, but so much of this is how do I have the life that's meaningful to me? How do I have space for the things that matter? How can I do all the things? We work with lots of multi-potentialites who want to do a million different things. And I think you and I have both had these conversations with clients where it's like sometimes these things are great as a career, sometimes they're better as a hobby. Sometimes you can incorporate all of these things all together.
bringing those questions in, really diving into what is meaningful. Many of the people that we've both worked with, and especially in our groups, find that that sense of meaning in their life, it makes a big difference in how much bandwidth they have to do the job. Your workbook really helps clarify some of those things. And when we meet as a group, we'll talk about what those clarifications are, how that lands, what that means. Okay, I've done this worksheet, now what? And make it a little bit more in depth and impactful. I mean, realistically,
Yeah.
somebody can buy your workbook and they
Yeah.
can work through it, and that would be useful. And what's different is that this group then gives you a cohort of other people also working through it. So you get that accountability piece. You get that mirroring of other people facing the same questions.
Yes.
And you get coaching from two experienced coaches who can ask you questions to deepen that knowledge and understanding and relationship to make it more solid and then make decisions off of it.
I think it's a fundamentally different experience in a lot of ways. I think, many gifted folks are autodidacts. We're really good at grabbing a book and digesting a lot of things from it. But because this is a workbook and it's really about working through sort of your internal beliefs, your value systems, the way the world is structured, how you perceive those things, I find that works so much better in the group setting. I think we've seen that in other groups that we've hosted, that it's just so nice to have other people to reflect back some of our own understanding, to put it in a different frame, to help us uncover sort of the hidden bias that's sometimes there that we can't see when we're just working
Yeah.
on our own. That whole group dynamic really enriches the experience and keeps people accountable because I think Erin, let's talk a little bit about why we want folks to make a phone call first, talk with you first, kind of beforehand, before just registering for the group. Why aren't we letting people just hop right in?
Two things. One, we don't really want people to be impulsive about this. We want it to be a well thought out decision. The reality is that this kind of coaching work is work. It's hard. And you need to have a certain level of bandwidth in your life, energy to really dive in and do these and engage with the exercises and not just do them on a surface level, because the surface level is not going to provide that mindset shift. And so we want to make sure that people are understanding what we're offering. I can answer any questions they have about what that means. You know, do they have the commitment that it will take to do this over 12 weeks?
Our goal is to make this accessible to folks. Certainly we're trying to think about how we can do this in a way that people have more access to it because we recognize this is a commitment. So we've got payment plans for folks if they need it. We're giving a discounted rate for folks who sign up earlier rather than later. So please don't delay. If this is something that's interesting to you, at least schedule the conversation with Erin just so that you know whether this is right for you or not. It's no pressure at all. It's really just talking with Erin to figure out if this is the right fit for you. And we want to make sure we meet everyone beforehand too, to make sure that it's going to be a really good group. We know sometimes group experiences have not been great for those of us who are differently wired. So we want this to be a really different experience where this feels supportive, that people who are ambitious can also find friends and peer support, and really feel like this is a supportive, safe space to grow. That's really vital for us. So that's why we asked to have a quick conversation with everyone beforehand.
And it's why we've limited the size of the group. This is going to be interactive. This is going to be being in a call with us. We can do breakout rooms as needed for different individuals. We can do mini coaching sessions with the whole group watching so that they get that coaching as well. Even if I'm focused on you, everybody is getting some information. So
Exactly. Well, folks can look through the rest of the website. Certainly reach out to one of us if you have questions. There's a link on the website itself to schedule that first call with Erin as kind of the next steps. But we are so excited to meet you and really looking forward to hosting this cohort.
yeah, we can't wait. It's exciting.